In this video, we're going to talk about how to replace your batteries and your wireless motion detectors. And these are specific to your Interlogix panels, which are your networks, NX6s, NX8s, your Simons, even your Condord panel will use these motion detectors. They've had different models over the years, but these are the two most common. This is the newest one, so we're going to talk about that one first, because it's also the easiest in my opinion. So this would be mounted on the wall with this square side facing up, and on the top of it you have this little tab that you'll push down. Motion releases. On the motion, you've got backside, you got the battery. You pop that out. Generally you want to remember what direction it came out so you can put it back in the same direction. But if you don't remember, most if not all of these things will have your markings in there. You might not be able to see it in the video, but it'll tell you a positive and negative what direction to put your battery back in there. So you stick the battery in, put it back on the base, that pops back on, and that's it on that one. This one can be a little trickier. Same thing, they've got the tab on the top, push down, that takes the base off. This will obviously be mounted to the wall in your case. Then you've got three tabs. You've got two on the top and one on the bottom. What you're supposed to be able to do is put your two fingers on that tab, one finger on that tab, push down, and it's supposed to pop right off. And you've got two batteries in there. You got, these ones are double A's. You got one on that side and one on that side. Once you take those out, put your new ones in. That pops back on there like that. And then again, that goes back on your base like that. Now sometimes these tabs don't want to release. Sometimes they're really tight, so it won't let you just take it off like that. If that's the case, I take a flathead screwdriver and you can just release each one individually. You go like that, go down to your bottom one, and then that'll come off like that. And then once you put it back on the base, one thing you're going to notice, specifically with this one, what's happening right now, this LED is coming on. So these have a walk test feature, is what they call it. So when you take it off the base and put it back on, it allows you to walk around and see what the coverage area is of that motion. Every time it detects motion, that red light's going to come on. That will do that for most of these are 60 seconds, and then every time it's tripped, it restarts that 60-second timer. So once there has been no motion within a 60-second time frame, that walk test will end and that red LED light will not come on anymore. And they do that to conserve battery life, because if they had that LED come on all the time, like would happen on a wired motion, that battery would drain fairly quickly. And if you have you had a trouble light on your system telling you that you had a low battery, usually as long as you put the batteries in correctly, put it back on the base, most of them the trouble just clears on its own. If it doesn't clear on its own, you always want to go back to your motion or whatever device you're working with, double check that A, the batteries are in the right direction, B, this is back on the base correctly, because there's also this little tamper switch. They've got a spring, so that's got to go back on the cover, and that pushes that spring down. So if you're not back on your cover correctly, that's going to keep it from working properly. So if you've replaced your batteries, you know that they're incorrectly, you know that it's back on the base correctly, and your trouble light's not clearing, you might have more of an issue that might actually require a service call. But most of the time, place your batteries, put it back on the base right, you should be good to go.